This is a methodology that's been around since around the latter 80s and early 90s. Someone in the field serendipitously discovered that the window film has the capacity to shrink, kind of like plastic shrink wraps do. Prior to the development of that technique, most window films in the 80s and the early 80s, on the back windows, you would always see strips, 6-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch strips that went across the window to negotiate the curve. That presented a whole host of problems. Ugly seams. And the shrinking of window film helped further the advent of one-piece back windows, which are now almost universally done. This is an old method of shrinking using the heat gun with a wet shrinking method. There is another method that I was involved in developing with the manufacturer of Lumar, at that time before called Performance Films. Lumar had me positioned as the installation trainer, and I helped develop the technique of dry shrinking, which actually is a great deal more efficient than this particular method of wet shrinking. The difference being is that my window film substrate, the piece of film being prepared for the glass, is sitting on water sprayed onto the glass, which affects the technique. The more recent method of dry shrinking, the glass is laid, the window film, is laid on the glass, completely dry, so as to have air underneath it, and the shrinking happens much more rapidly. The only reason it's being done on this car is some of the configurations of this window make it more difficult for me to do the dry shrinking. So I have access to any and all of the methods that are latest and greatest methodologies for installing window film. In fact, I was involved in developing these techniques many years ago.